I think the card I got excited about the most was Irelia,
Okay.
because it offered a new unique scouts-like way to play a deck with
Oh yeah, you like
Azir
scouts.
Irelia.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I love that deck. The problem is, or the issue I have with the deck is that now so many people are playing it, I don't want to play it anymore.
Ah,
I just wait until the first hype wears off, and then maybe if it gets nerfed, I'll start to pick it up.
you are a
Because
hipster. It can't. It's not cool if
yeah,
everyone's doing it.
I really don't like that.
How's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Optima, back with a brand new episode of our meta assessment series. This is going to be the series where we do deep meta dives to ensure the meta thrives, and generally we try to get on a guest, and we also try to prioritize getting some top competitive players so that you guys can hear a little bit more about their mentalities, their mindsets, and hopefully take a little bit of their experiences and what they've learned from those experiences and apply it to yourself as a player, and we all can just get better as a whole through this series. So thank you guys for watching, and definitely, as always, if you want to support this series, if you enjoy this series, leaving a like, leaving comments, all that engagement actually really helps out, so it'd be greatly appreciated. And definitely get subscribed up if you are new to the channel, as this series and more is happening on a consistent basis, so maybe something you want to be a part of. Nevertheless, though, we have an awesome guest today, and that's not just based on his username. He actually is quite the competitive player himself as well, and honestly had a very amazing run in the European Legends of Runeterra seasonal tournament. I couldn't be any more excited to be introducing him in Hipster Waldo. How's it going, man?
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for the invite. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well today, and yeah, I'm glad that you were a little patient with me because I know we have quite the drastically different time zones. So thank you so much for hanging in there with me, as I know it's quite late over there, and yeah, and taking a little bit of time out of your day. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Yeah. So, in today's video, we just want to kind of learn a little bit more about you, how you got into Legends of Runeterra, just your background at taking competitive gaming serious at this high of a level in general, and then kind of transition into your seasonal run, obviously winning it all, even getting there in the first place, and then yeah, what are the next steps for Hipster Waldo? So let's start though at your background. Just a little bit about you with gaming, maybe how you got to this point, and I would definitely love to hear how you also came up with Hipster Waldo as a name. If someone called you that, because I know it kind of fits your identity, I would love to hear that story as well.
So, how I got into gaming? I think the first time I came in contact was with when I was 7,
Mm-hmm.
where my mom got me this Game Boy and Pokemon Fire Red. So Pokemon was the first I've ever I've ever encountered. And then I reached at the age of 14, I started my or got my first PC and started to play my first competitive game, which happened to be StarCraft 2.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I've been doing that for 6 or 7 years semi-competitively. So just beat a few pros, took part at the ESL Cups that we have in Germany. Other than that, not really much going on in StarCraft. And then my friends started to play League of Legends, which then, yeah, made me quit StarCraft and yeah, start League with them. This happened, I think it was 2015.
Okay.
And after that, yeah, I've not been playing anything competitively. I've just enjoying a bit of League of Legends and still playing StarCraft for 1 or 2 hours a day. And at the beginning of 2020, when the Runeterra beta started, I watched a YouTube video by a German led League of Legends caster who promoted Legends of Runeterra. And
Oh, wow.
Hi, I'm Jeff Jew,
I'm Andrew Yip.
and we have a confession.
We're making a card game.
What?
as I knew from my childhood, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh with my friends at the school. So I really like card games. And I thought I'd give it a try. So that's what I did. At the release of the game, I think it was at the end of April, I downloaded the game, immediately fell in love with it, and pushed to Masters in May. And yeah, then now I'm here.
Yeah, no looking back after that. It sounds like that's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you went into so much detail too, because it's always really awesome to find those similarities when it comes to us card players as to where we all started with all of this. Because yeah, I actually, as far as going back to just my start with gaming, Pokemon definitely played a huge role in me falling in love with just playing video games. I actually had an older brother, and I remember going over to one of his friends' house and him having a Game Boy Advance, and I like next day I went home and I was like, Mom, like I need one of those immediately. That was too much fun. So yeah, it's just very hilarious to hear those similarities there. And I also played a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh's pretty much the main card game. I played quite a decent bit of Duel Masters, but that game didn't quite stick like Yu-Gi-Oh in North America as far as popularity. So yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh played a huge role in me falling in love with card games, and I actually found Legends of Runeterra when I was trying to randomly scratch a card game itch, and was like, wait, this is a card game, and I accidentally downloaded it when I was trying to download League of Legends. So yeah, hearing those backstories are always awesome, and yeah, I'm glad that you're able to get in early too, so get some very good foundational skills in this game, as you did definitely start before me. Have you loved, just a quick last question before we move on, have you enjoyed the direction the game has taken since you have been on quite a little journey with it?
Yeah, the game is evolving faster than I had expected it with Worlds this year, so I didn't think that was possible already. But yeah, I'm I'm quite happy we've already got this far.
Yeah,
So yeah,
quite the optimistic future for Legends of Runeterra by
yeah.
yeah, pretty groundbreaking announcement by having Worlds and having $200,000 on the line. That is quite the hefty incentive to take Worlds seriously, and obviously, you being a Worlds qualified player, it'll be interesting to see if you're able to make some noise once we get to that level. And then I think obviously with that level of competition, we may start to see those esports teams, which I know a lot of people are excited for. So yeah, definitely lots to be excited for within this community. So yeah.
Yeah, and for my name, I think you wanted to know where the Hipster
Oh
Waldo.
yes. Thank you for remembering. Thank you so much.
So the Waldo is basically an abbreviation of my last name. So all my friends call me Waldo.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the guy you search on the pictures. And the hipster, I think, is just so all my friends would describe me as, yeah, this guy is just a hipster. And I thought, yeah, okay, I got my username, Hipster Waldo. It's done.
Oh my god, that's awesome, because I feel like some people like myself have to, we just get a little creative and try to think of our own names we give ourselves, but that's awesome that your friends kind of figured that one out for you. You didn't have to even think of anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm a hipster, and Waldo is the abbreviation of my last name. That's awesome because I think it's quite unique, and I noticed that even Mogwai, one of our very popular community members who was commentating EU seasonal, he was quite fond of your username, and I was like, yeah, I see it. But
Yeah, he really loved it.
let's actually talk a little bit more about that, about your seasonal preparation. So, you talked a little bit about pushing the Masters really early on in the game. Has that been something you've been consistently doing each season in, season out, to help you feel like you're a player who can compete in these huge seasonal tournaments? How did you prep mentally for that? Then obviously playing the game, were you playing on ladder, were you doing a lot of scrimmages, and also what were your expectations as well?
I've only done this for the first season.
Okay.
So in May, I'm a little bit on the relaxed mindset here, so I don't take it that seriously. I don't care if I'm in Masters early in the season. It's all right for me to reach it just right before the cut. So I don't rush it. That's what I did for last season as well. So I haven't been playing for, I think, 2 months since I kind of got burned out by the FISTF meta. So I quit, and then a few days before the Masters cut, I just went in, took a deck, and pushed to the ranks.
Wow.
Qualified, yeah.
Generally, so many people they are just always playing week in and week out, and definitely feeling like they need to easily get into Masters right away so that they can be testing all their deck ideas against master quality players and also master quality decks. So it's honestly really awesome to hear you were able to still accomplish the highest of feats, but you were doing quite the contrary, and it still worked out for you. And that's good to know, obviously. I'm sorry?
Sorry. I just wanted to add this very much depends on the player. So, yeah, there are players who can play the game every day for several hours and still enjoy it, but that's not for me, so I take it a bit more relaxed.
Okay. And you feel like you do that mostly because for the enjoyment level you don't want to burn out, so that's fair. And I'm glad you're able to do that, because I could get I've definitely myself start to feel burned out when I start going a little overboard with the game, and I also know that we just also have some people who live very busy lifestyles, so it's also good to know that you can be busy and devote whatever time you do have to this game and not feel like you don't have a chance at the highest level, because you were able to just kind of all right, I feel like playing now, and then accomplish what you accomplished. Wow. What exactly, how did your prep for seasonals once you qualified? How did that kind of shake down? What were you doing? Laddering, scrimmages?
So honestly, not that much preparation. I have a scrim group where I talked a little bit about some matchups and practiced a few games, but honestly, I didn't do much. I just took the best 3 decks or best 2 decks, where I think Nasus Thresh, Trundle Lissandra, and my 3rd deck was Deep. And because I love Deep very much, I've been playing it since it got released with the Bilgewater expansion. So I'm quite comfortable with the deck. And for the ladder climb, I played Thresh Nasus. So with that deck, I was comfortable as well. And the only thing I needed to practice was Trundle Lissandra, but I thought, I think not many people want to play against Trundle Lissandra, so they just ban it away.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even practice Trundle Lissandra. I just played Thresh Nasus and Deep.
Dang. Well, that is it still sounds like, even though you weren't playing a ton, you still had a good enough understanding of some of those top meta decks, such as
Yeah,
Thresh
I've been
Nasus?
watching a lot of streams, so I think
Okay.
that's where all these understanding is coming from.
Okay, that's good to hear. If you wanna give us a shout out, who's a stream that you generally like to tune into?
Oh, I love Alarm. His chat is so pipega.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's always taking, yeah, he's always going really, really hard on ladder. Easily one of our best ladder players, and yeah, definitely someone who just does not get burned out because he's playing 24/7. But yeah, lots to learn from him as a player. So that's an awesome one to hear. I honestly like his streams a lot as well. But yeah, that's awesome that you were able to just obviously learn through streams and not have to burn yourself out through playing to get that understanding of those meta decks, but also did your little bit of playing them yourself, other than TLC. To actually transition that a little, I'm pretty sure in the top 32, you kind of went full on anti-TLC.
Yeah, for the top 32, I wanted to play other decks, since in the Swiss rounds I noticed that my lineup really struggles against Thresh Nasus and Lee Sin lineups,
Okay.
or lineups that contain both of them.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to take a different path, and one of my Grim partners said to me, "Yeah, so he actually took scouts, double scouts, and TK Raka for the Swiss rounds, but didn't make it through.
Oh wow.
And he told me, yeah, that's perfect TLC counter. I should try that. And yeah, as a scout player myself, I tested the decks out, played the matchups, and then was quite sure I would take these 3 decks to shit on all the TLC players."
And you were more concerned with TLC over Thresh Nasus, because just to go back to my conversation with Blue God, he actually seemed pretty focused on Thresh Nasus as pretty much the deck he should have been most concerned about. And he also he felt in the open rounds that most people were carrying some type of text to their deck to try to have a better matchup against that deck. But it sounds like TLC was the one you were most worried about. How did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, I think this mostly depends on the region you're playing. In EU, I think more players were trying to counter Thresh Nasus with their lineups already in open rounds. And TLC, most of the players didn't even think about countering TLC, because it really is hard. You really need the perfect decks for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, yeah, everyone, or at least everyone is at least bringing TLC, and then maybe Deep, because Deep got this hype in the open rounds as well, and Lee Sin. So at least one of these 3 decks I get to see in every lineup, and so I tried to craft a lineup that beats Deep, TLC, and Lee Sin lineups.
That makes a lot of sense, especially we saw from previous tournaments a lot of Lee Sin doing better in top 32, so that makes sense that would be another deck that you would want to be able to play good against when you get to that high level top player only kind of area. And definitely people going more with like what they feel most comfortable in and what they think's the strongest, such as Lee Sin deck. So definitely makes sense that you would also want to target that as well. And I tend to agree with you. I thought TLC was a very, very strong deck going into it as well, and that there was a little bit of people overcompensating for Thresh Nasus. Even though I do think I gave Thresh Nasus still the slight edge, I could see TLC still causing a lot of issues if you overly compensate for Thresh Nasus. And I'm glad that obviously once again that worked out for you with the 3 picks you went with. Since you kind of went over your preparation, how that went down, and then how things kind of change as far as preparation once you get to top 32, talk us a little bit more about as you were starting to coast through the tournament and get to those later and later rounds, and then obviously how you felt in finals, and eventually how you felt after winning it all. How did all of that kind of go down? And would just love to hear some details about how you emotionally were starting to feel. Like, did it really start to feel clear, like, okay, I can win this once it was top 4? Just any details would be great.
Yeah, so this season has been a roller coaster. In the Swiss rounds, I got clapped the first round by Broken Ball.
Okay.
So I immediately lost the first round and wanted to quit already, but my scrim partners said, "Yeah, come on, go on, you can do this." And at that point, I was just like, "Yeah, but with that one loss, I really can't make it very far. So I'll just see what I can do. I just play my games, have fun, and don't mind if I lose."
Okay.
And
Took a lot of pressure
happened
off.
Yeah, it took a lot of pressure off, and I did not lose a single game after that. A single match. I lost a few games, but
Okay.
that didn't affect the outcome.
Yeah.
So I finished 8-1, and in the top cut, I think I got just a similar mindset. So I knew I had the underdog lineup, or the fan lineup.
Yeah, the
so
off meta
where
stuff.
everyone was cheering for.
Yeah.
So I knew, and I knew I can play the decks. So these were all 3 decks I've played for. I think I have at least 50 games on them. So I really knew my decks, and going through the rounds, the first 2 rounds, I went very easy. So there were no problems at all. And as we were approaching the semifinals and finals, I think
attacks next turn that puts the damage on the stack, and you'd have to heal and stop all the damage from coming through, which I think is very unlikely here.
Stony Suppressor, yeah, to deny another avalanche, and that's when the Blighted Ravine goes down. And now that he sees that, I would play a Grizzled Ranger onto one of the 3 ones.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Yep. This is it.
So there's going to be 4 units still attacking. You only
You
have
take
to
2
play
damage
Ice
from
Shard.
your own Ravine. This is done. I don't see him. You can't live this. Man, this Stony Suppressor is amazing here as well, because it prevents, like, it doesn't prevent anything specifically here, but for Hipster it does. He knows that he's got this. It's game. Hipster Waldo will advance to the finals of the Empires of the Ascended Seasonal Tournament for Legends of Runeterra. He did it. He defeats Raxitos. And hey, Raxitos got his win with Deep. So you know what? Pretty satisfactory series, if you ask me. Like, really, really solid game by both players. And Hipster Waldo, man, with this really cool lineup.
I haven't even realized that I've gotten this far. So I was just in my little Wonder World, playing around, enjoying the game.
Yeah.
And then a few hours later, a few games later, I was the seasonal champ. So yeah, I can't really explain it. I just was so relaxed and had fun with the game that
Awesome.
that it just
all
just
came
happened.
together. Dang, that is like one of the most feel-good stories that I could have gotten for that kind of question. And yeah, just really awesome to hear that you, rather than taking things so serious and putting all this unnecessary burden and unnecessary pressure on yourself, you just, especially from that initial hardship of losing in the first round, you're able to turn that into, well, now I'm just gonna have fun, and then having fun turned it into you doing amazingly well and ended up in finals and winning finals. So dang, yeah, that could not have been a more amazing way to kind of look at things, and then obviously like an amazing outcome that resulted from having that perspective. So I honestly guess the moral of that story is try to take a step back and realize why you do this, why you take competitive serious, why you play Legends of Runeterra. We generally do this stuff because we want to have fun first and foremost. So that's just something we gotta continue to not lose track of as we're trying to reach our different aspirations and goals as players. So yeah, thank you so much for giving us a little rundown of that story. So yeah, you won it all. I'm sure your entire friend group, everyone was so excited for you. Let us know a little bit more about how you feel coming off of that high of winning it all, and then exactly like what's the next step from here.
Actually incredible. Am I Spanish mashing this? Let me make sure.
Fading Memories. Yeah, you have to play Valor. This is correct. If you play the 1-drop, you can actually Fading Memories and have a blocker.
Exactly.
But by playing Valor, it means that you can't, because you Fading Memories is a 2-cost unit. You can't play out this turn. We have the Pursuit here coming in, 7 damage coming straight away.
Oh!
There's a Scout, there's a Flip, and you're gonna get 2 attacks.
Wow! Wow! Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me, dude? Oh, this is like the most beautiful fight I've ever seen, and he's out! Oh, Hipster Waldo! Hipster Waldo wins the tournament. He is the Empires of the Ascended seasonal champion. Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Extremely clean Scouts play, and this is someone that we didn't even really know about coming into this tournament, but he showed up. He not only...
I think I spent at least 5 to 6 days to process what happened that weekend. And I think I'm not even over it now, so it still is amazing. I've won a seasonal, so
right.
I don't know what I want to do with that. I'm just doing this for fun, so I don't plan to get any more into the competitive scene than I already am. I plan to do the same thing I did now for the next seasonals and also for coming worlds. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I want to take this right now. I just think I stick to my guns and do everything as I did the last
Nice.
season.
I'm like, hey, it worked out for you this time around, so no reason to think that it can't in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And overall as well, it's nice to know that we have players who can reach that huge level, who aren't just dedicating every moment of their life to this game, or once they do have that good win, don't then feel like, oh, I have to now like make more Legend of Runeterra content. I got to do this or I have to do that. It's good to hear you're just like, hey, it is an amazing feat. I'm enjoying it. I'm still shocked in the moment, and I'm gonna leave it at that and not force myself to do anything or to force myself to think I have to do anything more with it. So yeah, thank you. From there though, I just want to say, like, do you have any like set goals and aspirations though as a player, such as like doing well at Worlds? Of course, that's probably what you're thinking, but have you set any particular goals for yourself as a player? Get signed by a team at all? I know you said you don't want to go too much further, but if a team offered you, since you did win a seasonal, what would the answer to that be?
I think my answer right now would be a no. I would decline. But yeah, no, I think I would definitely decline. And my goal right now is to just approach Worlds, beat a few players, and yeah, I eventually win the tournament. We will see.
Yeah, just take
What's
it
going
easy
to
and try to do your best. That's a good motto. Well then, let's I know that you said you've been taking things still pretty easy as far as how much you've been playing Legends of Runeterra, but I'm sure you've at least heard all the chatter about what's going on in this new season we have with the recent Guardians of the Ancient expansion. I know that you also saw the promo videos for the new champions we got in Malphite, Aurelia, and Zillion. Can you give us a little bit of thoughts on who you were most excited for, what card you were most excited for, if you've been playing, how that's been faring for you with using those cards, and also do you think how's the meta? What are your thoughts on the meta right now?
I think the card I got excited about the most was Aurelia.
Okay.
Because it offered a new unique scouts-like way to play a deck with.
Oh yeah, you like
Ozzy
Scouts,
Aurelia.
okay.
Oh, yeah, I love that deck. The problem is, or the issue I have with the deck is that now so many people are playing it, I don't want to play it anymore.
Ah,
I just wait until the first hype wears off, and then maybe if it gets nerfed, I'll start to pick it up.
you are a
Because-
hipster. It's not cool if
Yeah.
everyone's doing it.
I really don't like that. But yeah, the other cards, so Zillion and Malphite, I think are pretty underwhelming. So I don't really like them that much. I haven't seen them much as well. Maybe a few Zillion Nasus decks, but
Mhm.
these are just, I think, worse versions of Thresh Nasus. And Malphite, I don't know. I haven't even played against a single person who used Malphite.
I actually did a video on the one Malphite deck that actually felt decent for me, and it was one that I actually got from Mobalytics from another user. I did not peep their name, but I made a small tech to it, and it was using Landmarks and Malphite and Renekton together, and it actually felt like there was something there. Still not great, and definitely can't really keep up with things like Aurelia, Azir, but it was actually trying to accomplish something, which I would say a lot of Malphite decks I've seen just don't do anything. And unfortunately, it looks like Zillion kind of is in the same place where his level up just isn't really doing much. It's just not really accomplishing much. So yeah, I definitely could understand why you've seen little of both of those. And yeah, and you also liking Aurelia since you like Scouts. That makes a lot of sense as well. I really like Daybreak, so I was excited for the new Daybreak cards in the Solari Sunhawk and the Eye of Raharok. Unfortunately though, spending 5 mana on a landmark just really feels bad currently.
Yeah.
It just really feels bad. Targon's Peak is the only way you could cheese that to feeling kind of okay. And Solari Sunhawk, while it's a good card, it's kind of hard to have a 2-drop that you'd rather play like after turn 5 once you got Robin down, because that's, or at least Leona down. You really don't want to play it on turn 2, so that makes that card a little awkward as a 2-drop. So sadly, none of those cards are good. So it's quite interesting that Aurelia seems to be the only really good real strategy we got right now. Have you ran into the Aurelia Azir deck a lot? I know a lot of people shouting that it needs to be nerfed, or at least that it's a top deck. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so the meta is kind of weird right now. There are the people playing Azir Aurelia, then there are people who try to counter Azir Aurelia by playing Ezreal Draven or just plainly Thresh Nasus.
I've been seeing the dragons as well
Yeah,
because
dragons
of
as
Fury.
well, but not that much, I feel like.
Yeah,
It's mostly Thresh Nasus and Aurelia Azir.
yeah.
Well, that's what I most likely face.
I've seen a lot of that as well.
Yeah, and I don't feel like it is that oppressive right now, the Azir Aurelia deck. It has clear counters, but the meta overall is something I don't appreciate right now, since it's so hard to make progress on ladder, because the decks that are good against Aurelia Azir are bad or unfavored against Nasus Thresh, so it's like it's so much coin flip. And I don't even like the ranked ladder at all, since yeah, I'm not really enjoying it. It's quite a pain for me. I do like the tournament formats where you got open deck lists, so that is something I would love if we get that to the ranked. So an open deck list. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen players vouching for that for at least if they're not going to change our ladder to then implement a second ladder that is that does mirror our competitive scene a little bit more, where it's open deck list, you know what's in your opponent's deck, and
Yeah.
also then if they're going to do that, probably just do it in the same way where you bring the 3, you ban 1, you play against those, and yeah, just play a little bit more so that you could also adequately practice for seasonals without having to have friends to play against. That would also be quite inclusive of the entire community rather than just a select few who actually have friends who consistently play and take this game seriously. So yeah, I definitely echo a lot of those same sentiments and understand where you're coming from there. And yeah, I've noticed the same thing, that it is very hard to beat Thresh Nasus and beat Azir Aurelia. And yeah, just I'm not sure exactly how I feel about a deck that can consistently threaten damage on your defensive turns when it's supposed to be your, or their defensive turns. So it's supposed to be your turn to attack, but then all of a sudden you got 3 units all threatening to hit you for 3 damage on your attack turn. I think that's becoming also very restrictive team building wise, where a lot of decks just can't exist if that's a thing, and especially with the prevalence of that deck. Yeah, it's been interesting.
I'd rather take Azir Aurelia over Tron Lissandra anytime though.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
I
The
think
Watcher.
Tron Lissandra is a lot. It's a lot.
No, it's
more
a lot worse and a lot more toxic for the game, and I definitely agree. The existence of the Watcher, especially the fact that you can make it a 0-drop, is a huge issue, and it means a lot of late game strategies cannot even be used because you will just lose by turn 8 if you can't push so many resources at stopping that strategy, considering the way that it goes down, and we all know how it goes down. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that, but I would just say also I'm noticing that it's really hard to team build even more so because we still have TLC with 0 nerfs, then Thresh Nasus with a card in Merciless Hunter that really made the Blighted Caretaker nerf not feel that significant, and also the Atrocity nerf hasn't felt super impactful, and then now you also have the Azir Aurelia deck that's threatening damage consistently on your turn, on your attack turn. It's really hard to build any decks that can deal with all that, so I definitely can understand why ladder just feels like a huge just mess right now for you. So yeah, I'm with you there. So hopefully we can figure some things out, and maybe we can solve this meta and get things a little bit more less coin flippy, but we'll have to see. Moving forward though, it shall be are you going to be taking the EU Masters climb seriously? I noticed that was coming back.
Yeah, no, not I don't want to.
You do not want to do that. All right.
No.
Well, that was just the last question I wanted to ask. Definitely learned a lot about your mentality going into Legends of Runeterra. And I think just to wrap up, it is really awesome to see that we have a player who accomplished so much but didn't let this game absorb your entire life so much like it seems like a lot of other players do. So really cool to see, and I hope you can continue to take things easy, take things at your pace, and can continue to have success though. And yeah, I'll be rooting for you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, not a problem. I appreciate your time, and I can't wait to see exactly what you accomplish next. And yeah, I'll be on the lookout for you. And once again, I appreciate you, yeah, just taking a little bit of time out of your day to be here with us. And congratulations once again on winning a seasonal. Just such a amazing feat. And obviously the sky's the limits now. We hope to see you in World's Top 4 or something like that. So that's going to be it from us, guys. Thank you as well for your time watching. And once again, if you want to support the series, any feedback in the comment section below would be appreciated. You can find deck codes to the decks that Hipster Waldo used in his seasonal run in the description of this video, as well as a little bit more information on like his socials, as well as my socials if you guys want to check things out. We'll have more of these videos to come, so make sure you get subscribed up, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. For now, peace out.